It's stealing the limelight yet again. Eldon Square. Shopping you've always dreamed about.
For more information, or to book your own Heritage Hotel, phone 0345 40 40 40.
Well, how many people do you think it took to throw a body over that bridge?
Sir, I found him. His name is Harry Field.
Something composed of parts borrowed.
A copy of the Suzanne.
Did he forge anything? Every picture tells a story.
Painters have an annoying habit of painting what they see rather than what's actually there.
Who says art is dead? Inspector Morse, Wednesday at 8 on ITV. Crime amongst the hunting set now in A Touch of Frost.
995 on the road, it comes superbly equipped with air conditioning. Only $13,995 at Mill Volvo Northeast.
When you're 5, a day is a lifetime, and the future, the next 5 seconds. But as you get older, you realize you have to put away something to help you lead a full and healthy life.
Kellogg's All Bran. Kellogg's only use the concentrated wheat bran that provides half the fiber it takes to help your inner body get the daily workout it needs. Kellogg's All Bran helps keep you healthy on the inside.
Don Johnson.
You can tell about clients, like I can tell about women.
Rebecca De Mornay.
Liars are seldom as blunt or ridiculous.
Guilty.
I did not murder anybody.
As sin.
He is going down low.
You know what the problem is with committing perfect murders? You can't tell anybody about it.
Guilty as sin. Tuesday at 9 on ITV.
Watching Time Tease. Now we join ITN.
From the studios of ITN, the news with Mark Austin.
Good evening, welcome to the programme. The headlines tonight. Clinton's crucial week, new pictures piling pressure on the president. Fighting extradition, the former spy the government wants to silence. And bowing out, Roger Black runs into retirement. In the last hour, Bill Clinton has arrived back in Washington as political pressure grows from all sides for him to give his version of events, and quickly. And in a separate development, new pictures showing him with Monica Lewinsky have emerged just days before she's expected to testify about their relationship. Our Foreign Affairs editor Robert Moore is in Washington.
Looking astonishingly relaxed for a man under such pressure, President Clinton arrived back at the White House this evening after 48 hours away from the brutal spotlight of Washington politics. But he knows that within a few days, the legal investigation into his conduct will be gaining still greater momentum. And new pictures of the president greeting Monica Lewinsky have surfaced here. It was a fundraising event 2 years ago, but the images and body language are again being scrutinized in minute detail. For as early as Tuesday, Miss Lewinsky will be providing the grand jury with details of her alleged affair with the president, something Mr. Clinton has denied under oath and to the American people.
The President of the United States.
All weekend, the White House has been trying to put the scandal to one side, saying nothing further about whether Mr. Clinton would stick to his story when he is questioned by the grand jury. Senior Republicans have hinted that if he's lied so far, the president will have a last chance to confess and maybe survive.
And if he comes out and tells the truth, it would be the best for him. It would be the best thing he could do. Number one, at least he'd know he told the truth. At least he'd feel better about his life and what he has to face.
Now back in the White House, this is going to be another week of anguish and turmoil for the president. And within 2 weeks, he must make that momentous decision about what to tell the grand jury of his relationship with Miss Lewinsky. It is a legal and a political calculation that if he gets wrong, could yet cost him the presidency. Robert Moore, ITN, at the White House.
The former MI5 agent David Shayler is in a Paris jail tonight awaiting extradition proceedings which could take over a month. He was arrested amid rumours that he was about to make revelations about his Secret Service work on the internet. Ben McCarthy reports.
David Shayler was in Paris with his girlfriend when he was arrested. The former MI5 officer has already published allegations about the service, disclosing its secret files on prominent people and its failure to act on anti-terrorist information. He was about to publish more serious revelations when he was detained. The arrest comes just days after the Home Secretary helped launch a glossy brochure showing some of MI5's work. It's also the first weekend of the parliamentary recess, and the Home Office will only say it is preparing papers for Mr. Shayler's extradition. His lawyer says the arrest is a shock because Mr. Shayler had been discussing his return to Britain with the government.
We were very surprised because, of course, we were trying to negotiate for David's return without there being any need to arrest him and without there being any damage to national security. The government is using a draconian legislation in order to draconian way.
If David Shayler's lawyers lose the extradition battle, it's likely he'll face a trial in Britain. So that will mean his secrets from within MI5 are disclosed to a British court. And that would be very embarrassing for the government. Ben McCarthy, ITN, at MI5 headquarters. Fighting intensified today in Kosovo, despite Serb promises of a ceasefire. Their forces shelled positions held by Albanian separatists who in turn attacked security checkpoints. ITN's Colin Baker reports from the scene of the fighting.
All day long, central and southern Kosovo erupted in artillery and gunfire as Albanian separatists fought battle after battle against Serbian army and police units. In villages thought to be free of the Albanian KLA, the police were made to fight for every inch of ground. This just days after Yugoslavia declared its operations in Kosovo to be over. 20 miles from the province's capital, Pristina, this is a traditional KLA stronghold. But after a series of recent heavy losses, the KLA's strength was thought to be much reduced. The Serbs had been coming under increasing sniper attacks, but the scale of today's fighting was totally unexpected. Close to the Albanian border, we came across a convoy of Serb special forces. They were leaving from an area around the village of Unic, which has been under siege for the last 2 weeks. All around are burned-out houses, some wrecked by shelling, and of the local people there was no sign. No outsiders have yet been allowed into or around the village.
Whatever the reason for the military presence, whatever the reason for the impacts that are still coming from the village, it's quite obvious that the operation has not ceased and that much of Kosovo is still being fought for by the KLA.
And soon there may not be much left to fight over. Colin Baker, ITN, Kosovo.
Police have tonight revealed that the bodies of 2 young boys and a girl have been found in a car in Staffordshire. Officers were called to the Weaver Hills area of Wootton near Uttoxeter, where a man's body was also found in nearby woodland. Detectives are assuming they were all related and are treating the deaths as suspicious. The former Welfare Reform Minister Frank Field stepped up his attack on former colleagues today, but Labour MPs hit back, defending the Prime Minister's decision not to give Mr Field the top social security job. Here's our political correspondent, Harry Smith.
The man employed by the Prime Minister to think the unthinkable on welfare reform is now using the fact that he's resigned from the government to attack former colleagues. He's accused Harriet Harman, his former boss at Social Security, of blocking attempts at reform. He says he gave up even putting ideas forward because they disappeared into a black hole. He describes Gordon Brown's plans for means-tested pensions as corrupting. Coming after last week's resignation speech, the latest attacks brought a sharp response, with one unnamed minister dismissing Mr Field as a complete joke. Opposition MPs say the infighting highlights the hole in the heart of government policy. The government insists it is still committed to welfare reform and will bring forward proposals soon, with the Conservatives set to exploit any divisions in Labour's ranks, and Mr Field clearly in no mood to let the matter drop. There will be plenty of pressure on the government to make sure it does. Harry Smith, ITN, Westminster.
Rangers had a bad start to the Scottish soccer season, losing to Hearts. Both Hearts' goals came in the first 20 minutes. Sloppy defending allowed Stefan Adam to score the first. The second goal came from Jim Hamilton. Final score, Hearts 2, Rangers 1. The German Grand Prix took place in Hockenheim today. Highlights will be shown on ITV after this programme. So if you don't want to know the result, look away now. Roger Black bowed out of athletics at the British Grand Prix in Sheffield tonight with a respectable 3rd place in the 400 metres. He may have fallen out of favour with Britain's selectors, but his fans were there to cheer him on. John Taylor reports.
One of our brightest stars for the last 13 years, about to run his last ever race, Roger Black!
The golden boy of British middle distance running goes into the starting blocks for the very last time. Roger Black was the Sheffield meeting's star attraction. Tonight, though, victory eluded him. He was beaten into 3rd place behind the youthful running of Mark Richardson and Ewan Thomas. The Portsmouth-born athlete has won countless honours in a career that spans 13 years. Perhaps his most glorious triumph, that silver medal in the Atlanta Olympics 2 years ago. In Sheffield tonight, it was a hero's farewell. The 8,000-strong crowd determined to register their approval for one of the sport's most popular runners at the end of an emotional week and a distinguished career. John Taylor, ITN.
And that's the news this weekend. From all of us here at ITN, a very good night to you.
Hello, good evening. Buckets of bad news for the next 24 hours, but a sunny ray of hope, I think, from Wednesday onwards. It will be wet and windy through tonight and tomorrow. The weather chart for tomorrow is as you see it there. Weather fronts sweeping in from the west through the day. It'll be windy as well, lots of heavy rain around. But by Wednesday, things look very different. A ridge of high pressure at last coming in from the south and west. That promises sunny weather.